my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my...
What the hell is going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We're jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle in order to go over the Christmas Select Dokkan Festival, which is a very weird name, but it essentially, they're giving us a Red Dragonstone. And this is going to be Red Dragonstone 11. And with that Red Dragonstone 11, you will be able to choose one of these 31 characters or an Elder Kai. That is the options. Now, keep in mind, every single one of these characters is an Extreme Z Awakenable character. Every single one. So, don't think that just because you have all paths open, you're good to go. You could potentially use, like for example, if you have this Goku, all paths open, 10 out of 10, but you don't have him Extreme Z Awakened, you can still use that Red Dragonstone for an extra copy of him to increase his super attack to 11, and then to 12, then to 13, then to 14, then to 15. Because once they're 10 out of 10 and they become Extreme Z Awakened, they will have 5 extra super attack levels. So you still need to put 5 Elder Kais or 5 Grand Kais or 5 other, of the same character to get his super attack up to 15 out of 15. So if you're, have a ton of them already rainbowed 15 out of 15, but some of them are still missing 12 out of 15, 13 out of 15, that may be the route to go. But let's go off of assumption that you don't have any of these characters. Let's just go off of that assumption, okay? We're going to take a look at each character very briefly, and we're going to give you our, score, I guess, our opinion on each of these guys. And then we're going to give you an opinion on, if you have every single one, who would be the best for dupes. So, we're over on dbz.space, as you can see, and we're heading over to the Dokkan Wiki, and it shows a list of all characters. Let's just start from the top down to the bottom. Very quickly, I believe the first Extreme Z Awakenable character, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he's okay, but he's not particularly great, mainly because he only has that attack boost for 7 turns. That's good for Dokkan events and other small, short events, but anything long is pretty bad, and he just falls off very hard. Also, he's just a Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and that pretty much makes it so he's in competition with other Super Saiyan 3 Gokus like this one, who's a better version of him. And then if you take a look, you have this one who's going to get an Extreme Z Awakening, who will be better. You have, is there any other Super Saiyan 3 Gokus? You have the Strength one, but I wouldn't even really rock with that one, to be honest. He's not that great, but he's going to get replaced soon. This AGL one, I wouldn't worry too much about him. This Tech Perfect Cell is pretty solid, but again, he's one of the older ones. He is very orb hungry. He gains 15% attack and defense with each orb. The nice thing is that he gains extra ki for every rainbow orb that he gets, and that's about it. Okay, so he's not really like a top cell, but he's okay if you don't have him. This Intelligence Gohan is probably my favorite out of the other Gohans, the AGL and the physical one. He's almost always going to have 7 ki, and so he's pretty much always going to have that 40% defense buff. He gives himself 5 ki already, so even if you don't get enough for a super attack, he will give himself enough for a super attack. So he's okay. He's like overall an okay unit. This Strength Broly, probably one of the weakest Extreme Z Awakenings. Only an 80% attack and defense, and he's only doing supreme damage. So his damage is actually pretty weak, even though he's stacking his attack for 3 turns. So he's not really a good pickup at all. This Full Power Frieza is kind of wonky because he can do decent damage since he's giving himself 120% attack. But the thing that's a little frustrating about him is his defense, because he only gives himself 30% defense, and he has to be the first attacker in a turn. and he kind of stacks his defense by 30%, but that's a very small amount and only for 3 turns. So it's going to fall off by the time he comes back on rotation. So not really dependable at all defensively. He can do good damage. His links are obviously great, but that's about it, right? This Tech Beerus, if you do not have the physical Beerus, is very, very solid if you have the Strength Beerus and Whis, and if you have like the Intelligence Vados and the Strength Whis, and the characters like this, right? Because, let's go over to the actual EZA one. Got a Rage mode, which could be helpful, right? But the fact that he receives this additional 40% attack for 4 turns after he gets hit means that it's calculated separately, so he's actually sitting at 152% attack. So his attack can actually skyrocket, and doing immense damage is very good. Lowering defense by 50% is very good. You'd actually be surprised by how much damage he can output, especially next to a Beerus and Whis, Strength Vados, Intelligence Vados. So his links can actually be activated, because without them next to him, you're only going to see Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle. Maybe Prodigies next to a Vegeta, maybe Godly Power next to a Super Saiyan Blue or something like that, but that's about it. If we move along, Intelligence Janemba, definitely a top choice, simply because once he's Extreme Z Awakened, he's a extremely good defensive unit anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's on a long event or on a Super Battle Road or Extreme Super Battle Road. He consistently takes low damage. He's not a unit that is going to take double-digit damage, though he can in the beginning of fights. But in something like ESBR, he's going to consistently mitigate a lot of damage. So that makes it so if you put him in the spot, in a spot to get hit, you're probably not going to die because the damage is consistent and manageable, if that makes sense. He's got a 25% chance to dodge attacks, which is always good. And that guard being active makes it so he can really lower the damage that he's taking, which is good. And he can also pump out a bunch of damage. And his links, some of the best, right? Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Brutal Beatdown, Fierce Battle, Metamorphosis. So you're also getting health back every single turn. So he's just a fantastic unit all the way around. This Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, he's extremely situational. He's 80% damage reduction for 10 turns. And then he gains attack if you're able to stun the enemy. So he's pretty much solely made for Super Battle Road, because Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, one of the only places where you're going to get that stun to actually land. A lot of Dokkan events and other type of events, stunning is disabled. So you can still bring him along to shorter events. So he's just your sponge, your damage sponge, your tank there. But if you're planning on having him do damage DPS at all, it ain't gonna happen. You have to be in an event where the enemy could be stunned, or else you're just like doing 0 damage to your foe. Moving along, this physical Kid Buu is fantastic if you aren't planning on Extreme Z Awakening the Intelligence Kid Buu. So he can do decent damage, nothing impressive at all. But the fact that if you're above 80% HP, he's giving 50% attack and defense plus 2 key to all allies, that is huge. That is actually insane. Now, he does lose the key bonus, and it goes down to 30% attack and defense when you drop below 79% health. But even still, Majin's got one of the biggest glow ups with the link level update. Majin is a crazy link, 2 key, 15% attack and defense. What was it? Wall Standing Tall, 20% attack, infinite regeneration, 2 key, recovers 3% HP and defense 10%. So, stuff like that. Big Bad Bosses, obviously, attack and defense 25%. So this guy is like a perfect support unit. The only problem is, since this is his only passive, he can be hit unbelievably hard, and that's where the Intelligence Kid Buu ends up being a better unit overall, because he can become somewhat tanky, he can still output more damage, and he's a slightly weaker support. So this guy's going to be replaced by the Intelligence Kid Buu, but if you aren't in the position to Extreme Z Awaken the Intelligence Kid Buu, then this guy is definitely worth your time in picking up. If we move along, we're going over to the Kamehameha units. And first off is going to be Super Saiyan Gohan Teen. Kind of boring, to be quite honest. 90% attack, defense 40% when he super attacks. Disables Rampage. This is literally just for Broly's ability in Berserker of Destruction Dokkan event, where he mitigates damage unless if you have Rampage, or else unless if you hit a crit. Very, very useless. Very, very useless. Moving along to the Super Saiyan Goku here. There are better Super Saiyan Gokus. This one's okay. 3 key attack and defense 80% as long as your HP is 30% or above. I do like that he raises allies attack by 25%, but he's only doing supreme damage, so his damage stinks. We're going over to the Strength Goten. I do believe he's the best out of the 3 because he's an orb changer. So he's doing physical orbs to Rainbow, attack and defense 70%, and he's raising his own defense by 30% for 3 turns. So he at least gets tiny bit tanky, right? And he's helping out by creating those rainbow orbs, which is always good for different type of units. These two are kind of the same with the intelligence one, like I was saying before. Let's just go over to the physical one and get him going as well. So as you can see, supreme damage, raises attack for 6 turns. It's okay, but the fact that he's doing supreme damage means that that's limited. 3 key, 100% attack, defense 120 as long as your HP is 80% or above. Drops down to 40 if your HP is 79%, and then you do 1 crit. And then obviously this dude is very similar, 100% attack, key is 6 or more, blah blah blah, right? He does have a 30% chance to stun, so they're okay. They're not like great or anything like that. This intelligence perfect cell is actually a little bit more consistent than the tech perfect cell. So 90% attack and defense unconditionally, and if you drop below 30% HP, you recover 20. So kind of garbage. He does greatly raise attack, so he can do okay damage, but again, he's only stuck on supreme damage, whereas the tech cell is on immense damage, so he's going to be able to do more damage at the end of the day. This Strength Super Saiyan 3 Goku, again, kind of blah. He gains more stats the more HP he has, so at full HP, he has 140% attack, and his defense is what? 40%? That's what it stays at? Yeah. Again, supreme damage, so kind of not worth your time, to be quite honest. This Strength Gogeta has just been absolutely replaced by the Intelligence Gogeta. Attack and defense 77%. Gains more attack for every rainbow orb. His attack effective against all types. This is really, really good if you do not have the Intelligence Gogeta. Definitely go for this guy. But if you have the Intelligence Gogeta and you're planning on doing the Extreme Z Awakening for him, which I don't see why you wouldn't, then you can go ahead and skip on this dude. This AGL Kid Buu, honestly, I do think that he's the worst Extreme Z character in the game. Gets back 14% HP. Okay, whatever. Attack 14%, 7% defense per orb. But he's doing supreme damage, and his stats are very low. 13,000 attack is kind of garbage. So the attack that he's able to put out is embarrassing. Move along to the other Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This is the tech one. 90% attack, 120% defense when key is 10 or more. You're probably always going to have 10 defense because you're giving yourself 2 key. So he's okay. He's not bad. Again, supreme damage. I kind of can't really recommend anybody that's doing supreme damage unless if they're a big time support. This Vegeta is kind of a mid-tier support, so I do like that he's raising allies attack by 30%. He's giving himself 90% attack and defense, and if you have a few Vegeta's family units on the team, then he's also a support, 30% attack and defense. That is not bad. And the Trunks, his son, is very similar in that regard, where if you have a few Vegeta's family members on the team, at least 2, then he's also doing 30% attack, but he's giving 2 key and attack and defense 30%, and then he's giving himself 70%. So those are 2 very good support units, this Vegeta and this Trunks. Obviously, the Vegeta is going to do a little bit more damage, sacrificing the key. The Trunks is going to do more key, sacrificing a little bit of damage. If we go over to this Beerus, he's very situational and honestly not really that good. He's a Worthy Rivals support, 2 key attack and defense 30%, And then he has a 50% chance to give himself 200% attack, and he gives himself 100% defense. Honestly, Worthy Rivals is a category that he's not particularly good on. Worthy Rivals is a category that's not particularly good. There's just like the leaders don't really sync up well. Like this Piccolo doesn't really have a place on his own team. This Vegeta here, yeah, you can put some Vegetas together, but honestly, it's better with just running a Vegeta's family team. So Beerus doesn't fit on that team at all. It's not even worth picking him up. If we go over to this Vegeta, this guy's actually insane. So he does supreme damage, yes, but he's raising his attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns. So you will see that stack a bit. And he's starting at 90% attack and defense, plus he gains 15% defense every time he gets hit, up to a cap of 60. So what that pretty much means is his maximum defense boost is 204%. And if you hit the, if you do a super attack every single turn, like an additional super attack every single turn, you can get up to 751% defense. So this guy is insane in long events where you're going to get hit, a few times. And he can do pretty decent damage, 2 million damage, consistently. So great choice there. If we move over onto this pure evil Majin Buu, he's a Majin Buu Saga, he's a Majin Buu Saga character. So attack and defense 90%. He debuffs the enemy, minus 20% attack and defense. He's got a 50% chance to dodge if he's facing a Majin Buu Saga enemy, and then he's also launching an additional super attack, which is always good if, again, he's facing that Majin Buu Saga enemy. His links are the Majin links, which are very, very solid. He's overall pretty good for things like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. Longer events, not really, but something like that where enemies can be debuffed by on their attack and defense and things of that nature, he's very, very good. This Goku is very solid as well. I do wish that his stats were a little bit higher on his EZA. Again, only 13,000 attack, which is a little annoying because he's got such a good chance to crit, right? So if your HP is 50% or more, he's got a 50% chance to crit, which is great. And he's got a 70% chance to stun. And if you drop below that halfway HP mark, he's got a 70% chance to crit. So if you have this, like, if you just put a bunch of additional into this guy, then he can actually do quite a bit of damage. That's really what you want to do, just full additional onto this guy. Crit, whatever. His crit is already so darn high, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, if he had higher stats and if he did immense damage, oh my goodness, he'd actually be like one of the best Super Saiyan Gokus in the game. He'd be like, by far, it's like you'd be arguing whether you should bring. Oh no, the LR HL Goku you'd still bring, but this guy would be like, you know what I mean? But right now, yeah, this dude, another great support. This is the Metal Cooler, Extreme Z Awaken, again, a fantastic support. The fact that he's giving himself stats now is good, 50% attack and defense. He's giving all allies 30% attack, and then extreme allies 3 key and 40% defense, which is very, very solid. That's a high key amount, and that's a high defense amount. He's also massively lowering defense, which matters because it's 80% as opposed to 50 or 30 or the trash like that. And his links are fantastic for coolers. Strongest Clan in Space, Thirst for Conquest, Shocking Speed, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Shadow and Limit. Even Auto Regeneration is good for other metal coolers, right? You get a ton of health back, so he's a good choice as well. This Intelligence Android 13 is probably the best linking partner for the Android 13, the AGL one. Also, the fact that he's changing orbs is very good. Tech to Rainbow. He does gain more key for every Rainbow orb he gets, and he gains more attack and defense for every Android character on his team. He's also massively lowering defense, so he can get hit very hard because he's just sitting at attack and defense 50%. And if your team isn't loaded with Android characters, then he can get kind of slapped up. But besides that, he's just a great linking partner. Our army, like, come on, bro. Tough as nails, Android Assault. Wonky links that he's only going to be sharing with that other Android 13. So it's kind of imperative to get those two together. This Tech Nova Shenron is solid, but he's kind of just unneeded at this point until we get more Shadow Dragons into the game. He's a Shadow Dragon Saga category ally. 90% attack and defense for himself. That's very good, but we just don't really have many Shadow Dragon characters. And there's also another Nova Shenron in the game that is better than him. And he's also a Shadow Dragon Saga, category support. He's giving super class allies 40% defense. So this guy is just like a better version of the tech one. So I'd probably skip him for sure. This Super Saiyan 2 Strength Gohan. Again, if you have the intelligence one, or if you have the tech one, then this one may be a skip as well. Though this guy's solid defensively with 77% defense over the intelligence LR. Obviously, he's not going to hit as hard, though. This guy can hit very hard if you have Super Saiyan Goku attacking in the same turn, simply because he gains that additional 5'9", 59% attack, and he goes up to 181%, almost 182% attack boost. That's wild. The fact that he's also doing immense damage, greatly raising his attack for one turn, is also very big. That just means that he's going to pump out a lot of damage, 3-4 million damage. 77% defense. Again, it's okay, it's not fantastic. If you have the tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, don't even blink an eye and look at this guy. But if not, then you know who to pick. Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa, Extreme Z Awakened. Fantastic unit, what can I say? Doing supreme damage, but she's not really there for the damage. She's going to be raising defense by 60% for 3 turns. That is a big number, 6-0. That's a big number. She's giving herself 60% defense just in her passive skill as well. 120% attack, which is not bad. Now, her attack is very low, 12,000. That sucks. But she's not really there for the attacks. Again, 50% chance to dodge. That's good. 25% chance to dodge the super and counter with tremendous power. So keep in mind, she's got a 50% chance to just straight up dodge and not attack back. She has also a 25% chance to dodge the super attack and attack back. And her attacks are effective against all types if she's got Kale attacking in the same turn. So that also includes the Kale and Khalifa LR. So that's a very good combo that you can run because they're going to activate a lot of these links here. And even though her damage is low, with her attacks being effective against all types, you could just throw a bunch of additionals in there. She's going to be stacking up her defense. She's going to be doing little pitter-patter damage, but she's going to be a defensive queen, so very solid. This Kale is kind of wonky, to be honest. Her EZA is just weird. She does immense damage, which is great. Lowers defense by 50%, which is good. 160% attack, which is solid, right? Launches additional attacks. Got a 70% chance to be a super attack, which is solid. Reduces damage by 60% for 6 turns, which is solid. But then, after the 6 turns, she only reduces damage by 60% if she gets 6 or more physical orbs. She needs 6 or more, not just normal key spheres. She needs 6 or more physical key spheres. Physical key spheres. So that means that she 100% needs a physical orb changer. And even then, getting 6 is hard. So if you do not get 6, you have 0 defense from your passive and your super attack. If we take a look at her links, again, pretty normal links for the female Saiyans. Saiyan lineage, 5% attack and defense. Warriors of Universe 6, 6% attack and defense. Prepare for battle, 5% attack and defense. Tournament power, 7% attack and defense. And Shattered Limit, 5% attack and defense. So this honestly is just not enough, right? She also gets 5% dodge. But you're looking at 5, 11, 16, what is that, 23? And then, 28 defense, 28% defense. 28% defense, 5% chance to dodge. That you're going to get plowed. Just batter up, home run, out of the park, you're out of here. It is not enough. you need 2 orb changers on that same turn. You need orb changing items. She is a huge liability. So I honestly wouldn't even use this Kale next to this Khalifa. I honestly think that there are better Kales besides this one. I do. If we take a look at this, you can bring, because again, if we take a look at this Khalifa, what the requirement is, it just has to be Kale. It doesn't have to be Super Saiyan Kale or Berserk Kale or anything like that. So that means you can use this Strength Kale. You can even use this Intelligence Kale here, right? Where's the Tech Kale? Does she not? She's got to have Awakening, right? Let's take a look here. So you can use this Strength Kale if you want, right? 80% attack and defense. Additional attack and defense, 10% per Pure Saiyan's Peppy Gal's category ally. Launches additional attack, super attack when there's a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan's enemy. Guards all attack if Khalifa is on that turn. So she's going to be a defensive G as well. She's going to be raising attack and defense, right? Alongside that Khalifa. That's a great little pair right there. Also, you're looking at this Kale, who, even though she can get hit fairly hard, at least she's sitting at 50% defense because Khalifa will be on that team, right? She's also going to give 3 key and 40% attack and defense to that Khalifa as well. So that's a nice little buff. Or you can even go with this Tech Kale here from the World Tournament. Raises attack and defense, so she's stacking. Universe 6 allies attack 20%, defense 10%. And then she's going to gain even more stats, or she's going to give Pure Saiyan's allies attack and defense 20%, and defense 10%. So that's a 40% attack, 20% defense for the Khalifa. And then finally, with Khalifa on that turn, she gives herself 120% defense and launches additional super attack. So when this girl actually gets an awakening, she's going to be really, really solid. As you can see, she doesn't have one now. But even in this level 100 form, I would say she's more useful to run than that, other Kale. Or you could the other Kale. Or you could just bring this one, Super Saiyan 2 Kale here. This will work as well, right? And we already know how good that one is. So let's recap very quickly and let's pick the top 3. So the top 3 that I think you will be absolutely fantastic with if you grab them up. Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. So Janemba, like I said, just cannot die and does fantastic damage. This Intelligence Metal Cooler is a great support that honestly you'll probably bring over the AGL Metal Cooler in a lot of events. And then this Khalifa has a few free-to-play options to bring a Kale to make her as strong as she is. You can also think about bringing this Vegeta, who's fantastic, okay? And then you may even consider bringing one of these Vegeta or Trunks if you're running Vegeta's family. If not, this Super Saiyan Goku is also a fantastic choice. And again, we talked about how great this guy is defensively. His damage is consistent. And then this guy, who can do pretty darn good damage, his defense isn't the best, it's 80%, but even still, you're going to be stunning, you're going to be doing all that stuff. So for Super Battle Road, this guy is great. So those are really like the top 5 that I would say you can pick. And if you were looking for a dupe, this will finish up. We'll finish up with this. Again, number 1, get a dupe for the man. Why? Because he's intelligence, so that means that he starts with dodge. He starts with dodge, and you can either put crit in him, which I'd probably suggest go fully crit, or you can put some additional. But I would go heavy crit, at least 20 crit if you have him rainbowed. But get that right path open. It's very, very important, so he can do a ton of damage. And then the second one, I would say, is probably this Vegeta. and this Khalifa. This would be like dupes in these two would be very, very important. Again, you can put crit in this guy, which would be great, or you can just go full additional. So you can try to get this as much as possible. Same thing with this Khalifa. You can go crit to try to, you know, get her to do more damage. But honestly, if you have that Kale, attacks effective against all types is similar to crit. So I would probably also go pure additional, raise that defense as much as possible. You're already going to have that 50% chance to dodge, so you're already going to be good to go. So those are my picks for the Christmas Select Dokkan Festival. Hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, let me know in the comments down below. Please don't waste this God Dragonstone 11, and do remember to use it. Don't forget, for goodness sakes. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to gently rub that sub button. Don't forget to gingerly rub that bell button. Ring that thing. Gently. Kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodik. See y'all in the next video.